Good. Oops, let me turn that off. Let me restart that real quick. Good Saturday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Saturday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Saturday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we will be talking about tonight. Obviously, the main thing on your screen right now, this tropical disturbance looks concerning if the pieces align. And I'll get into what I mean by that. But you can see this main thing on your screen, and we'll go on depth with that. But first, before we even get there, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button, make sure you go on and do so. It's Saturday, the best day of the week. You're not doing anything today, or maybe you're doing some outside work, but it's nothing work related. So, for most of us, at least for most of us, so make sure that you go and hit the like button, the share button, and the subscribe button, because sharing is caring, and we're at 560 subscribers, trying to get to 640 subscribers away from that main goal of 500 subscribers and only 15 away from 575. Second off, what will we be talking about? Obviously, the tropics. Like I said, we're going to talk about the shower and storm activity that continues on the daily, the flash flooding, and then we're also going to talk about the cloud cover as well, because, cloud cover has been taking over a lot of the state since, honestly, at this point, it almost seems like earlier, or if not like late last week at this point, to where we just had cloud cover over and over and over every single day. We're going to go into depth with that. But first, before we get into that, let's go on and see what's going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina. We do have some rainfall right now. Rainfall is going on right now that goes through ports of the Midlands. It's isolated at the most. The low country is also getting some rainfall as well. There is some flooding going on. There is a flash flood warning that is in effect for Ravenel, Hollywood, going into Kiawah Island, Folly Beach, going into just to the south of Carolina Bay, as there is radar. It is radar indicated. The reason why, because 1.5 and 2.5 inches of rain has already fallen, and an additional half an inch to potentially an inch and a half are possible just as we move through the next 3 hours or so. And flash flooding is ongoing or is expected to begin shortly. So that's why, the reason why is because Western Charleston County has already received several rounds of moderate to heavy rainfall so far today, and additional heavy rain showers are now moving through. Rainfall amounts so far today of up to 2.5 inches have occurred across an area including Folly Beach, Johns Island, and Wadmalaw Island. An additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall will be possible over the next hour. Of particular concern is the Folly Beach area, and any location along and near tidal creeks and streams as we near the time of the high tide. Roads within the warned area could become flooded and impassable. So that's what they're talking about, especially like they said in the Folly Beach area and just anyone along that coastal region right there. We do have a little downpour going on just to the south of Georgetown going on in the PD. We have some isolated shower activity, and the upstate actually looks relatively dry. So what's going on throughout the entire U.S.? We do have some rainfall going on in Florida, going into Georgia, as well flooding going on in Iowa, going into Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin. Severe weather is ongoing as well over here inside of Kansas, Colorado, and Nebraska, with maybe even some severe weather going on in southern Arizona, with some scattered shower and thunderstorm activity over there. For our cloud cover, we do in fact have that cloud cover, and it covers again most of the state. Yes, you have some regions that are a bit clear right now, but for the most part, most of us is covered with some cloud cover. And if you look at cloud cover for the future, go ahead and push this forward, that cloud cover will continue. Even as we get to around 7 o'clock in the morning, this is when my morning forecast update comes out. You can see that it is still clouded up. Even going into the afternoon and evening. This is the evening right here for tomorrow, Sunday evening. Cloud cover still taking over the entire state. And like I said earlier, you might be wondering, why are we still getting this cloud cover and what's going on with it? Maybe you didn't. But if you did, it's because of the CAD influence. Now, you might be wondering, what in the world is CAD? It is cold air damming. Pretty much it's just cold air that gets trapped in between a mountain range, especially like the Appalachian Mountains, and you have a high pressure somewhere around that is trapping it. And that traps all of this cold air and all of this cloud cover around it, and so that's why the temperatures have been cooler for an extended period of time. That cold air damming is in place, it is being held above us, and that's causing some gloomy conditions. Could cause obviously some rainfall, some flash flooding, could cause the cold air, obviously, and it is expected to fade by Monday, with mostly cloudy skies and occasional overnight showers early, shifting to the typical summer convection by Tuesday. So we will be back to our regular summer weather as we go into Tuesday. Now for our current temperatures right now, 77 inside of Columbia, as well as 76 in Sumter, 76 also inside of Hartsville and Florence, 75 in Conway, and 77 in Myrtle Beach, Murrells Inlet. Going into Georgetown, we have 76. In Somerville, we have 75. In Charleston, we have 77. In Aiken, 77. And if you move up here to the upstate, 74. Greenville, 74. Also in Spartanburg, Gaffney, York, Rock Hill, 75 in Clemson, and Anderson as well. For your low temperatures for tonight, 67 in Greenville as well as Spartanburg, 69 in Anderson, and 68 in Rock Hill, 71 in Columbia, 71 in Orangeburg, 70 in Walterboro, and 74 in Charleston, 71 Moncks Corner, 74 inside of Hilton Head Island, as well as Myrtle Beach, 72 in Georgetown, 70 in Kingstree, 71 in Florence and Dillon. For your precipitation, a good amount of precipitation is expected. A good amount of precipitation is expected as we move into tonight. 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch goes from Greenville to Anderson. Rock Hill is included in there. Chirrah is included in there as well. Columbia, Camden. That 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch goes throughout those regions, and obviously there will be some other areas as well that potentially could get a 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch, and there are even some places up there in the upstate that might only get a 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch, but they're just not highlighted with the locations. Quarter of an inch to a half an inch possible for Lawrence, going into Greenwood, going into Winnsboro, and even Florence, Dillon's included. Half an inch to an inch for Aiken, Barnwell, going into Moncks Corner, and even Hilton Head Island. Then maybe even an inch to an inch and a half is possible for Orangeburg, going into Kingstree, going into Charleston, Georgetown, and then potentially an inch and a half to potentially up to 3 inches of rainfall possible from Myrtle Beach going over towards Walterboro, and somebody might even see up to an isolated 4 inches of rainfall as we move through tonight going into tomorrow night. So one thing that I will say, especially if you are inside of the regions that only say 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch or a quarter of an inch to a half an inch, is that you have to watch out for potentially higher totals because these thunderstorms, as I say all the time, higher amounts of precipitation could fall inside of thunderstorms than obviously modeled. So make sure, even though it doesn't seem to be that high for some regions, that you are paying attention. And if you go into the SPC outlook, you can see thunderstorms for tonight are still possible. That goes all the way from the southern upstate, northern Midlands, down towards the coastal regions, as everyone there still has a chance for a thunderstorm to pop up. And, just seeing if we have any right now. The flash flood warning that is going on down there near Folly Beach has a 12% chance of being a thunderstorm, and then there's a 5% chance of this to become a thunderstorm over here near Edisto Beach. So again, not high, but it's still a 12%. Now going on into tomorrow, thunderstorms are definitely expected, just as we move through tomorrow. Now, who will get one? We don't know, but everyone will have a chance tomorrow for Sunday, August the 10th, and for Monday, August the 11th, same thing. Everyone will have a chance for a thunderstorm as we move into Monday. Now for excessive rainfall. This is another big thing that we have to talk about. And for now, if I go in and refresh it, just to make sure that we have the most up-to-date info here, which, of course, this is not the right info at all. So I think we're going to have to go to this one down here. But you can see the slight risk right down there. That includes that low country going down into Georgia. And then the marginal risk that kind of goes from like the more southern Midlands going over towards like Myrtle Beach, Conway, Loras, for example. And so that's why we have that risk right there for some excessive rainfall through tonight. Now for tomorrow, that slight risk kind of expands a little bit more. Goes again from those southern Midlands all the way through to the PD region, all the way down towards the coastal regions. Then the marginal risk takes over from the northern Midlands, southern upstate, and goes through from Florence all the way over to Aiken, to Greenwood, for example. And then everyone else does not have a threat. For day 3, this is for, this is for Monday. So the one that we just talked about was Sunday. And this is for Monday right here. Slight risk of excessive rainfall also here. That goes for like the coastal, like Grand Strand region. and that is for scattered flash flooding. And if you're in the green, that is an isolated flash flood risk that goes all the way from the northern Midlands down towards the coastal regions as well. That's outside of that yellow region. And so that is it for just Monday. If you're inside the white, again, that means that you do not have a threat for any sort of excessive rainfall, as we have no excessive rainfall that's possible on day 4. And then on day 5, a little threat up there in the upstate, like the far upstate, but it's, still 5 days out. This is on Wednesday, and there's only an isolated risk. So that flash flooding will continue, especially if you're near those coastal regions where coastal flooding also is possible as well. And for the most part, you already see what they're talking about on the flash flood warning that we just saw over there near Folly Beach. Now let's go on and look at the models. So we're going to start off here at 9 o'clock. So starting off here, you can see that we obviously have all of this activity that's going on. That's not unexpected or anything like that. This was all expected. As you continue to around 12 a.m. on August the 10th, we do in fact have some more rainfall that will move inland into the low country, into the southern Midlands, for example, even into parts of the southern upstate by midnight tonight. And that will move into the PD region as well, and it will continue to push up more and more through to 5, 6, 7 a.m. rainfall ongoing throughout, again, a good amount of the state. By 10 a.m., look at this, rainfall ongoing, and this could potentially get heavy. As flash flooding, like I said, was possible, it could get heavy by around 1 p.m. going all the way through. Now, if we go to 2 p.m., these are two separate model runs I just picked, so this one looks a little bit less likely. This one was updated at 6 o'clock, I believe so, or maybe 3 o'clock. It was somewhere between that area. I believe 3 o'clock it was. But it does not show as much. So this scenario right here is a little bit more light than the one that we just saw, but the one that I just showed you was actually the most recent one. But if you continue this forward even more, it starts to spread a lot into the upstate. It goes a lot into the northern PD region, and by 11 to 12 o'clock in the morning, we still are seeing scattered shower and potentially thunderstorm activity. It dries up a little bit. Still have some rainfall, but it's overall a lot drier. But once you get to around 7, 8, 9 a.m. again, this rainfall pushes in from the Atlantic, down from Georgia, and moves its way through all the way to 2 p.m. on August the 11th, where we have much rainfall going on. So this is what I'm talking about this numerous shower thunderstorm activity that will potentially occur every single day. And this is only Monday. We will get back to that thunderstorm potentially. I don't know if I'd say widespread, because summer is just a lot. It's just not too consistent, but we'll start to get back to that thunderstorm, slow moving, chance for gusty winds every single day, chance for a thunderstorm every single day type thing throughout the entire state, just as we move through. I mean, we technically are receiving every single day shower and thunderstorm activity every single day, but it's cooler out. It's not as hot. Starting back for our long-term future, so we're going to start off here on August the 11th, 2 p.m. This is just where we left off at, and you can see that rainfall activity, like I said, stays relatively on that scattered to numerous side. Maybe might get a little bit widespread and regionally widespread at times, but this is the low resolution one, so it's not going to be exact for sure. But just as you continue through, and you can see, yes, that is a hurricane that you see at the right side of your screen. And this is, again, seems to be more than 10 days out. This is August the 20th. It's August the 9th, 10 days out. So we really can't say too much for this, and this will 100% change. But we'll continue to watch. Because remember, the last one seemed to show this as well, but it ended up going more to the east. So we'll just continue to watch for that. But that's the one system that we are watching for, that I said that we are going to have, that's looking a little bit concerning right now if the pieces fall in place. But August the 22nd going into the 23rd, looks a lot more drier, but that's 300 hours out. So, we can't trust it completely. once we get to around that August the 22nd time frame. We can't really say too much, but the active weather continues. And I do want to show just the temperatures real quick, just as it's cooler than average as we continue through all the way into around August the 13th and the 14th, and then obviously, I believe Tuesday is the 12th. So it might be a little bit, still might be a little bit cooler, but for the most part, it's going to warm up a lot once we get to the midweek into the end of next week. So that warm air will continue to take on, and we might see triple digits. I heard from a couple of National Weather Service offices that heat advisory criteria might be met as we go into next week. So some potentially dangerous heat might be coming back next week. So that's it for the models. Let's go on and talk about the tropics. So we're going to start off with the main one, obviously the one in the orange, disturbance number 1. This is Invest 97L. I know you can't see the full thing right now. I think actually, yeah, that's better right there. Now you can see the entire thing. A broad area of low pressure associated with the tropical wave is producing a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms just off the west coast of Africa. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression could form by the middle to latter portion of next week, while moving west-northwest at 15 to 20 miles per hour across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. Locally heavy rainfall is possible Sunday and Monday across portions of the Cabo Verde Islands. There is a 10% chance for this thing to form over the next 48 hours and a 60% chance to form over the next 7 days. So we can go on right now because this is now an Invest. This is Invest 97L. This is Invest 97L. And if we go on and look at what it looks like right now, this is currently what it looks like. It says it's becoming a bit more organized. You can see obviously Africa over there on the eastern side. And it's moving its way through. In the Cabo Verde Islands as well. We'll be getting obviously that locally heavy rainfall. But let's go in and look at the models. Because the models, they don't look the best. You can see starting off here, this was at 0Z obviously at 9 o'clock p.m., which was 20 minutes ago. It shows that, the hurricane models, they aren't really showing too much into the future, but it has it curving. You have some that curve a little bit later. You have some that curve in kind of like normally in the middle, and you have some that curve a little bit earlier. So that's why, in my opinion, I believe we still have to wait a little bit. This is the GFS right here. This one, again, you have some that are going up, not making any contact with us, and you have some that's going through that will possibly make contact with us. And it's the same thing with the one that we just saw about like just less than a week ago. It showed it to where some was going towards us, some was going away from us. And, obviously that one ended up going a bit more away. So this one potentially might. As you continue into the GEPS, the European one, this one is a bit more on the lesser side because it doesn't have as much ensembles to show, but it does show that activity going, again, just every which way. Some going in the Gulf, some going towards the U.S., some going up into like the northeast, and some that may even potentially go out to sea. So we're going to continue again, just wait for that. We're still 10 days out. We are still 10 days out from even getting towards the U.S., like right around here-ish. So this is honestly just going to be a waiting game at this point to see what in the world happens. But, we even have to see if it even develops first, which most models are saying that it will. Are saying that it will. Speaking of the intensity guidance, look at this. You have models that, again, most models have it forming. You have like one or two that have it not forming, but most likely could potentially turn to a tropical depression, but most models have it becoming at least a hurricane. Most models at least have it being a hurricane, and you have one model all the way up there that says it's going to be a major category 4 hurricane. Now, will that happen? We don't know yet, but it's possible, as some models have already said, that it is, and most of it kind of is in that category 1, potentially category 2 range. But once you get further and further into the shorter time frame, they'll start adjusting and start getting more with each other. So that's it for the intensity guidance. And so There's nothing else really for me to say except for that it is on the way. I can check one more thing real quick. If you go to the ECENS, this is the one that I just showed y'all yesterday. Here it is right here, which I don't know why in the world it does this, but just you can see that as it moves its way through, most models have it going around, and then you have, I mean, just splits all over the place. I mean, just most of it kind of going up, most of it, or I honestly say most of it going just to the north of us, some going over into like the northern Atlantic, and some having it going over towards the U.S., at least the southeast, and some going in the Gulf. So for the most part, it looks like that this is going to be a bit concerning, but if the pieces fall together, that's the whole reason why I said this tropical disturbance looks concerning if the pieces align with one another. The if the storm goes the way, like towards the west towards us, and the pieces align, you have, air masses aligning with it, and it forces its way over, obviously that's when it would become concerning. But if something forces it east and turns it away from us, obviously would not be concerning. And so we just are, like I said, still too far out to make a direct conclusion. But this most likely, in my opinion, most likely will form. But that's it for this first one. Nothing else really I can say about it except for that you just got to continue watching for it. Disturbance 2, this was the one that was originally in place of the orange one, but it's now looking unlikely to form at least through the next couple of days. As it says, disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity continues in association with the tropical wave over the central tropical Atlantic. Development of the system appears unlikely during the next couple of days due to surrounding dry air, but some gradual development is possible during the middle part of next week while the system moves north across the central Atlantic. There is no chance for any sort of precipitation. There is no chance for any sort of formation through the next 48 hours, but there is a 20% chance over the next 7 days, and it can't form right now. There's too much dry air, but it will have a chance to form a bit later. But no threat for South Carolina for this one. No threat at all. So that's it for the tropics. That's all that I really have to say. Make sure that you stay tuned if you are watching right now and you're not subscribed to the channel. You have not hit the like button. You have not shared it to the people that you know, because I will be the first one to say, especially if I need to do an emergency update or anything like that, to come on and say that it is time to start getting ready, which you should already be getting ready. You should have been probably getting ready since May for hurricane season, and just to make sure that all of your stuff is prepared. But now is definitely the time to start planning, just in case if worse comes to worse. The crazy score for tonight, we're at a 25 right now, slightly breezy or cloudy, but no major concerns. And no, I'm not going live tonight. But I will say that the cloudiness continues, flash flooding potentially continues, as flash flood warnings are still there, and that's pretty much all we have to look out for. So let's go on now and talk with the chat, the live audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Mr. Chris says, hello everyone, hello to you. Remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. He's absolutely right. We've had 27 people have tuned in, and we only have 8 likes. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why 19 people decided to show up and just decide to not hit the like button. They just decide to show up and then just leave, or just stay and just not do anything. But if you're a part of that 19 that have not hit the like button yet, make sure that you go in and do so. That says, good evening, just so I trust all is well. We are currently watching a movie. It was another hot one today. Thank you so much for that weather update. Good evening to you. Hopefully the movie is good. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. My name says, hello, Jay. It rained twice, and the temperature dropped to 78 degrees. Thank you so much for that update. And thank you for being here tonight. Trail says, greetings, everyone. Lovely day nice road trip driving. Happy full sturgeon moon in Aquarius. Well, first off, greetings to you. Um, it is a good day out there. It was a good day out there, in my opinion. It was a good day out there for me. And then my Aunt Lula then says, hello, nephew, how long will this nice cool weather last? Well, I talked about it earlier, but I'll go in and rehash back on it. It will last probably until around like that Wednesday, Thursday-ish time frame, and we'll start getting back into those hot temperatures again. So we still have, like another like 4 or 5 days left of this nice cool weather for most of us, which I'm a hot weather person. I will say I like summer. Summer is my favorite out of all the seasons. I know that's a very unpopular take, but for the most part, I can enjoy this cool weather, especially for when it's, dangerous heat waves are going on for weeks. Definitely for sure, I can enjoy for a good cool down for a while. But then once it gets too cold, I immediately want summer back, which I think that's how most people are. If it gets too cold for a little bit, they want summer back. If it's too hot for a little bit, they want winter back. So it's just whatever is going on, most likely. But that's it for the audience. I don't see anything else. We do have a poll inside the chat, so go and vote for that. Right now, I said, do you think the tropics have been active? 43% says yes, it has been active enough. And 29% is tied, 29% for about normal, and a bit below average. And I will say that we are not even in peak hurricane season yet. Peak hurricane season is obviously in the end of September, early October. And they actually have upped their predictions a little bit for the tropics. I think they said around 14 to 19 or 13 to 18 named storms. I think they were thinking about, I believe, 9 hurricanes, and that they believe 7 to 9 hurricanes, and I believe they said 3 to 5 major hurricanes. So which ones will hit the U.S.? Again, we don't know, but we just have to watch for it every single day as we move through until obviously November the 30th, the last day of hurricane season. But let's go on now and talk about the 5 locations outside of South Carolina. That being San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Duncan, Oklahoma, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Starting off with San Antonio first, with low temperatures tonight at 77, high temperatures tomorrow at 98, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 76. No precipitation is expected at this time through tomorrow and through tonight as well. Now, if we go into excessive rainfall, if we go into severe weather, there is no severe weather that is expected. No severe weather is expected at this time. Excessive rainfall, you do in fact have no risk for any sort of excessive rainfall. Not if you go through the next 5 days. If I'm going on to look at this, yep, no excessive rainfall is expected. Raleigh is the next one with low temperatures tonight 67, high temperatures tomorrow at 86, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 70. No precipitation is expected tonight or tomorrow, but there is a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night. Now for your excessive rainfall as well, there is indeed no threat for any sort of excessive rainfall as you move through the next 5 days. And then for severe weather, there is indeed no threat for any sort of severe weather. And since we're in North Carolina already, let's go and talk about Charlotte real quick, which there is still no location for, but like I said, it was just a temporary location. It won't be here probably only for like the next couple day or so. But for Charlotte, with low temperatures tonight 68, high temperatures tomorrow 82, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 69, there is a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and tomorrow night. But after that, that is it. No severe weather is expected. And then in terms of excessive rainfall, there is indeed, I believe, no threat for any sort of excessive rainfall. Philadelphia being the fourth location, with low temperatures tonight 62, high temperatures tomorrow 89, and low temperatures tomorrow night 64. No precipitation is expected at all. And for excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall is expected. For severe weather, no severe weather. And then the final location being Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight 77, high temperatures tomorrow at 99, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 74. No precipitation is expected no severe weather is expected, and you can probably guess if any excessive rainfall is expected because obviously there is not. So all locations right now looking relatively on the good side right now. Not looking too bad. Not looking too bad right now. So what's going on throughout the entire U.S.? Heavy to excessive rainfall is expected over the weekend across eastern Iowa, northern Missouri, northwestern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. Numerous flash floods, somewhat significant impacts are expected in these areas. Heaviest rainfall will occur Saturday and Sunday, so be sure to have multiple ways to receive warnings. If you know anybody in those regions, southeastern Nebraska, northeastern Kansas, northern Missouri, western Illinois, at least a good amount of Iowa and southern Wisconsin, that you let them know flash flooding is likely, and some of it could potentially be significant. We also do have some fire weather that is ongoing. That's possible inside of Utah, Colorado. Wildfires could spread. Severe weather and also inside of Colorado and Nebraska. And then the heat is starting to build over there in the west, inside of the northwest, from Washington all the way down through California and Arizona. And then obviously also some wildfire smoke still continues to inundate Minnesota. And I believe that is about all that we have to talk about for for tonight. Let me go and check out the chat one more time. I don't see anything else inside the chat. We haven't had any new votes or anything like that inside the poll, so I'm going to assume that is all. Top fans for tonight, and we have a bit of a new one tonight. For the first time in about 20 days or so, we have a new number one top member, that being Trail, being number one, Mr. Chris at number 2, and Mr. Anthony at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for tonight. So those are for our top fans for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can, but you just got to be here early, and you have to be active inside the chat. Also, like I said, I've said it multiple times, but I'll say it again. Make sure, if you have not hit the subscribe button, the like button, or the share button, that you go in and do so. We are at 560 subscribers, trying to get to 600. We only need 40 more people. You can go on and meet somebody. You could have went to the grocery store, met somebody. You could have went to the park, met somebody. You could have went to the restaurant, and the waiter, you just go in and share it with the waiter. You know, it doesn't matter. You can share it with anybody that you want to. It doesn't have to be just necessarily in South Carolina either. If you know somebody in your area, like for Raleigh, or San Antonio, or Philadelphia, because we do their forecast as well, go on and send it to them. But I will be back tomorrow morning with your Sunday morning forecast update. Again, make sure you want to do all the things that I've asked, and I will be back again tomorrow. Make sure to hit those 2 buttons.